Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Corsair Dark Core RGB Pro. This is the latest version of one of my favourite gaming mice, an updated version of that mouse that features a number of different enhancements and styling changes. It's also a fantastic bit of kit. Now, I unboxed and reviewed the original Dark Core, and I'll link to that video in the description. I'm also compared it to other mice, and I'm also going to compare it with this one, so you can get an idea of what the two are like and what the differences are between them. It's also worth noting that the Corsair Dark Core RGB Pro comes in two variants, the Corsair Dark Core RGB Pro and the special edition version, which features Qi wireless charging. This version, however, is also really interesting. Now, it has a number of cool features that includes Corsair's SLIPSTREAM wireless technology. Also works with ultra low latency Bluetooth connectivity and USB wired as well, so you've got three different ways you can use it, and that's one of the things I liked about the original Dark Core mouse. It has a maximum 18,000 DPI with a PixArt Optical Sensor, and that is optimized for extremely low power consumption. It has a hyperpolling technology that allows you to communicate with your PC up to 2000 Hz, which is twice the standard 1000 Hz that you get from most gaming mice. Also has a USB-C cable that you've seen there, and it includes an extra side grip for the right hand side that I'll show you. Another highlight for this one that makes it interesting is it comes with 9 RGB lighting zones and a multiple lighting zone bar along the side. It's quite a change from the original Dark Core and makes it kind of comparable to the Razer Basilisk Ultimate, which I've reviewed previously. So I might do a video to compare those two as well. It also has 8 programmable buttons that you can program in a number of different ways, and I'll show you that a bit later on in the software. As with the original Dark Core, this mouse boasts up to 50 hours of battery life, which is pretty nuts, using the Bluetooth low latency mode. And it is a nice bit of kit. As I said, the special edition version comes with the Qi wireless charging. Now, when I unboxed the original Dark Core, they also sent a MM1000 mouse mat that had a Qi charging pad on it, so you could just put the mouse on it and charge it when it wasn't in use, which was really neat. It's a great way to keep it charged and not need to plug it in. This edition of the mouse does not have that Qi wireless charging, but the SE version does. Underneath, you'll note the little power switch that allows you to change between wired, wireless and Bluetooth connectivity options. You'll see it also has a contoured shape and sort of bobbled texture to it that makes it comfortable and sits in the hand. It is fairly small, but not the smallest mouse I've tried. Another upgrade that this Dark Core has had is it now sports a USB-C connection, which makes it a lot easier to plug in without the faff of USB superposition and that annoyance that you have there, or the downsides of micro USB as well. It's a bit fiddly to plug in initially, especially when you're trying to do it on camera. This took a few takes to get right. However, it is glorious in that USB-C connection is a much welcome upgrade, and it does have that traditionally wonderfully braided USB cable as well. Now, on the right hand side, you have the ability to swap out the grips, and you'll also notice under there that you have a little dock for storing the USB wireless dongle when it's not in use. So this is a Slipstream wireless dongle that automatically pairs with the mouse really easily. But as I noted already, this has a Bluetooth connectivity mode as well. So that's great because it means you can plug in that little dongle into your main PC, but also take the mouse with you and then connect via Bluetooth to a laptop, for example. So it makes it multiple connectivity options, and also you have a ridiculous amount of battery life when you're using it in Bluetooth mode, so it's really great in that way. As I said, the original Dark Core was one of my favourite gaming mice, and this mouse continues to be a fantastic bit of kit. I really like it for a number of reasons. It has multiple buttons, you'll see on top you have a profile switching button. On the left side there's DPI up and down buttons. There's also thumb buttons. But the highlights for me is both the thumb rest on the left and the ability to swap it out so that you have a rest for your pinky finger on the right as well, which means you have very little contact with the desk from your hand. And for me that's great because I am clumsy and my hands are quite large, so they get in the way when I'm gaming sometimes. And so this is a brilliant update. Here you can see a quick shot of it next to the original. On the left hand side is the original dark core, and on the right the new one. You'll note some slight design changes, and as I said, I'll do a separate video to cover the main differences between them shortly as well. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to check that out. They are minor upgrades, but you can see why they've done it, and you will see if you watch that video. And one of the things of note is the mouse wheel is slightly different contour to it, but also the left hand buttons are also a bit more accessible. You have quite large thumb buttons that you can see there. On that left hand side you also see 3 little recessed LEDs. Those are to let you know the DPI profile that you're in. So you've got 3 different DPI levels that you can customize within the software, and you can set those up in various different increments all the way up to 18,000, which is pretty nuts. If you're interested in hearing what the mouse sounds like in terms of clicks, I'm also going to do a separate video on my other channel where I'm just unboxing and showing off the sounds and clicks of the mouse without me waffling over the top. So have a look in my channel to see the link to that other channel where you can see this video if you like unboxing videos without annoying English people waffling over the top of them. It is a comfortable mouse to use though. I've been enjoying it so far. It is a nice upgrade from the original dark core. If you own the original dark core, then whether you will want to upgrade is questionable because it is a fantastic mouse anyway. However, this is a brilliant bit of kit. It does not have left and right click on the mouse wheel, which is a shame. That would have been a nice addition. I know a lot of people are a big fan of that. Extra buttons in terms there, but it does have a very solid and satisfying mouse design and a good scroll wheel design to it as well. Those large DPI switching buttons are also really handy. The placement of the buttons is very good, and I really like the bubbled texture to the mouse surface and the way it feels in the hand. As I said, it could be a little larger, I feel like, but it is very nice. Here you can see again a close-up of the switch underneath. On the left hand side you can switch it into Slipstream Wireless, and on the right is into Bluetooth, and then in the middle is off or in the wired mode. And it's an instant connection with no fuss from that dongle. It is worth noting that it is very diddy though, so it's easy to misplace, so be careful you don't lose it. But it's nice to have that dock within the mouse so you can store it when it's not in use, or if you want to take it with you somewhere. Here you can see it turned on and some of the RGB lighting goodness, and I'll show you a bit later in the software. As I said, that sidebar along the side underneath the 2 side buttons is actually split into segments, and it's very much like the Razer Basilisk Ultimate in that it's sectioned off, so you can actually change the RGB lighting in individual sections. Here you can see, as I was saying, the DPI level indicator. As you go up and down, that level changes so you know which level you're on. You'll also be able to change the colours of that indicator within the software as well, so you can tweak that too. So you can customise quite a few different bits of the RGB lighting zone. So you have the mouse wheel, that strip along the thumb buttons, 2 little bits at the back on either side, and the Corsair logo on the top. So there's plenty of different RGB lighting zones here to tweak as well if that's your bag. You can customize that in various different ways, and I'll show you that in a minute. Close-up view of the mouse wheel. You see there's not that much of a texture to it. There's a slight bobbling on it. It's kind of similar to the texture on the rest of the mouse, and it actually looked really dusty from there. This is straight out of the box as it comes, but that's just the design and the way it looks. It hasn't been that filthy. All in all, a really nice mouse, a really nice design, another solid favourite of mine. I've been really enjoying it so far, and there's plenty of customization that you can do within the IQ software, including adding macros, changing button presses, various different action settings and all sorts of other things as well, so you can really set this up to work the way you want it to and customize the look and feel of it too in terms of the RGB lighting. As I said, I'll also be doing a comparison with other mice that's similar to and the original, so be sure to stick around to check those out. But this is certainly a solid bit of kit. I'd like to see the SE version because that Qi wireless charging is a fantastic addition. So here we are in the Corsair IQ software. Now when you go in there, you can set actions up and you can remap the 8 programmable buttons. So you have the 2 side buttons, left and right click, the middle click for the mouse wheel. You can change the DPI up and down buttons, and what is as standard forward and backwards on the left side. In there you can then choose from macros, media settings, launch applications, timers, profile switching. You can also disable buttons that are not in use. There's advanced settings for each of these. You can also set sounds for it. There's all sorts of other ones too, one of which is remapping the mouse button. You'll note there's the option for the sniper mode. Now this is a Corsair favourite, and it's weird that they've not included a sniper specific button, but basically press and hold that button that you set it to, and then that drops into a sniper DPI level, which is a lot lower, so it essentially allows you to then set 4 DPI levels instead. Now when it comes to lighting, as I said, you have multiple lighting zones now. You'll see this is split into the scroll zone and various other areas that include side accent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, as well as the logo zone. You'll see side accent 1 is at the front of the strip along the side buttons, and then you can customize it in this way, for example, where I'm selecting one at a time on these accent areas to then add custom colors and set it up the way I want it. You can either use static colors or you can use the various other effects. You can add spiral rainbow, for example, tweak all of these different ones in any way you want. So there's plenty of different customization. I've not seen that too much elsewhere. As I said, I've seen it on the Razer Basilisk Ultimate, where there was a long strip on that you could do a similar thing to. Here you have that strip, but you also have those other zones as well. So you'll note the bottom right, for example, is one of the other accents, the logo zone and the mouse wheel, and on the right hand side as well you have another one too. So you can customize the strip and then all those other spots in various different ways. So there's plenty of customization here, so if you're after some RGB lighting, that's actually pretty good. The lighting on it is actually reasonably bright as well. It's not too obnoxious, it's nicely done and enjoyable, I'd say. And because it is compatible with other Corsair software, you can obviously do the instant lighting, which is one of the things I like, which sets everything to a certain color, or do the lighting link and sync the various effects across your keyboard, mouse and fans and other things in your case if you happen to have Corsair set up. So you can really set up a brilliant looking bit of RGB lighting goodness. Now onto the DPI levels. You can see, as I said, as standard you have 3 DPI levels that you can switch between, and you'll see I'm doing that here by just pressing the DPI up and down buttons on the mouse itself. You can then set various different levels in 1 DPI increments on here, and you can then easily switch between them on the fly, and you get that indicator on the side to let you know that's happening. It's also possible, as I said, to have the sniper mode. So if you program a button into sniper mode, press and hold that button and it drops it into a much lower one. So for example, I've got it set here on the secondary level I did have, and then if you press and hold that button, it then drops into the sniper mode. You also get the indicator on the side changing as you switch between them, and then you can set it to change to a different color entirely when you press and hold the sniper mode, so you know you're doing it. And you can also customize that sniper mode to the level you want it to. So you can have really high or reasonably high DPI levels and then set a really low one for really accurate shots, as if you're using a sniper rifle, for example, in a game where you want to have a very accurate moment, but you don't want it like that all the time. Other things you can do is adjust the performance and calibrate it to the particular surface you're using it on, whether that's on a desk or on a cloth mat, or other surface, you can set it up and customize it that way in the surface calibration settings, and it's basically just grab this little dot and then drag it around and it will automatically set it. Hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting or hilarious. Be sure to subscribe and check out these other videos, as well as taking a look in the description for links and other information you might find useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see extra about this, and have a great life.